Good job, you good. Hey, Maya, let it fall.
Good job, guys.
Unit! 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 1, 2, 3! Bang, bang!
When you lay your heart on the ice and you have a good race and you're in that sweet spot or that white moment or you're in the zone, it's just the most elating, intoxicating feeling that you can get. But feeling better. I'm gonna take a nap today.
Good.
Oh my God, my sleep tracker, 99% sleep. I have a million friends, but I don't have one gay friend.
Awesome.
I was very much alone in that closet.
I got 99% sleep last night. I got 100.
I thought I needed to quit everything though. I wanted to just move to the other side of the world as if that was going to, take away my sexual orientation.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Just
I think at this level, 90% of success or failure comes here. We're all very similar with our physical abilities to this level.
Right from the time she was 4, she was actually really good. I have made the big, horrible mistake of asking people where the finish line was for her very first race. And they said, oh, right at that red line down there. Well, I thought the 100 meters was like this next red line, but that was like 25 meters. So she took off and she was so far in front. And I told her to stop. And then all these kids started to pass her. We said, oh, go. I think she still won the race, but we knew right then and there that she was competitive. I've told her that from the time she was 2 years old, that she is Anastasia Winchester Busis. That name stands for strength, and you can do or be anything if you want to.
I was on such a high because I had just qualified for the Olympics and I was the baby of the team. And it was like this dream had just become so tangible. It was like the underdog success story of the year. And I was like, I don't deserve to go to these Olympics because I'm young and I'm not going to win a medal. I mean, my teammates are Clara Hughes and Cindy Clausen and Christina Groves and Christine Nesbitt, all these women that were, they transcended speed skating. They were really the collective face of the Canadian Olympic team. And I was just a kid that kind of got lucky and qualified for the games. So I felt like a fraud on ice, and I was lonely and I was confused and I didn't know what this new label of being an Olympian meant. And I also kind of realized at that moment that I was gay. And I said, well, I'm a fraud on the ice because I shouldn't actually be going to the Olympics. Olympians are infallible and they win medals and they're famous. And I'm also a fraud off ice because I'm gay and no one knows it. And it was, I really, like, I've never, you know, I look at my life before and after that moment. I was so racked with anxiety and depression that I stopped eating, I kind of stopped sleeping. There were days where I could barely even get out of bed. I really was like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, life is hard enough as it is. What did I do to deserve to be gay? It was so overwhelming.
In terms of being the first gay soccer player to come out publicly, I think I could have been coined the first for that. However, I didn't play after I came out. It's such a hard process to come out in general, and when you're trying to play at the highest level, and you're so focused and there's so much pressure on you and this is your living, I don't think a lot of people are willing to chance that. You want to get behind you and push like I used to?
Vancouver, you won the championship up there. You just had everything going for you. I came up to visit. Do you remember what you did?
Yeah, I told you I was gay.
But,
I felt like it was now the time in my life to tell you because I had already told so many other people. And what I did was you came for 2 weeks and I said, I'm going to tell her on the first day.
and I didn't expect, because when you were with me, I saw nothing of your attentions for another, for the same sex.
For another man. It's still hard for you to say.
Well, yeah.
And when I told you, you said, no, you're not.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I said, yeah, I am. And you said, no, you're not.
I remember that.
I said, oh, shit, how am I going to... I'm going to have to convince her that I'm gay.
And I remember going into the bathroom going, I'm up here for 10 more days. What the hell am I going to do?
So my plan worked.
And so I said, David's David, no matter what.
And the thing was, it was like, I felt for you in my heart that you didn't care that I was gay. I didn't feel that you were worried about me being gay. I felt that you were more worried about how I was going to be treated.
But I still am in the protective mood because of the South, the racism, the lack of understanding, the two-facedness, I'm a Christian, but I don't believe this. And then too, I was upset at even my own religion, where they don't accept gays. You can go to church, but you can't take the the sacraments.
But how do you think I felt growing up in an environment like that? If you're gay, you're going to hell. If you're gay, you're going to burn in hell for eternity. So that's what I had going through my head, and those are the thoughts that I had all the time. So how do you think like me as a young child or a young man growing up felt? Like that's a hard, and that's how it is for a lot of gay men and women and people who are questioning themselves and their gender. Like that's how it is now. For a lot of people still.
It's hard for me to answer that. I don't know if it would have been better for you to tell me when you were having these thoughts at 10, 11, 12 years old. If it would have been, if our lives would have been different. I don't know because it didn't happen. I didn't know these thoughts were going through your head.
Once again, Robertson controlling. Number 4, the short player I mentioned earlier, is only a freshman. His name is David Testo, and he's got quick feet. He's low to the ground.
I think my way to succeed at that time as a little boy was to become a really good soccer player. That way they wouldn't judge me on being gay or being different, but they would take my respect and they would somehow be able to accept me.
Jeez. Another scrapbook. You put that ball to your feet, you right, left, shoot. Wow.
This was my biggest honor to date. I look at that photo and I see I had so much drive, I had so much passion, I wanted to be the best. I didn't think anything that could stop me.
No, and it didn't.
It's interesting to look back at that picture because I see a different person there than I am now, that's for sure. In college, when my teammates started to know, and I hadn't officially come out to anyone yet on my team, but once people started to find out, that's when my senses got really heightened in the locker room because I didn't want anyone to think I was looking at them. I didn't want to scare anyone. I didn't want to offend anyone. I didn't want to make people feel uncomfortable. I always try to look in the opposite way. I knew several players that were very uncomfortable and didn't want to shower with me and always would dress and hide themselves, or not shower when I'm there, or shower with their underwear on. I didn't want people to feel as though they were being looked at sexually, or make someone feel not comfortable in a way that like they would go and talk to another teammate and be like, oh, David was looking at me in the locker room. That was like, I never wanted to hear that. I never wanted someone to have to say that. But for me, the darkness entailed a lot of self-hatred, a lot of pain, a lot of self-abuse. And I think that's what happened, why I started to probably drink more, where I did experiments with lots of drugs, got really sick for almost 2 weeks, in and out of the hospital, lost maybe 30 pounds. My uniform didn't even fit me. My pants were falling off. I couldn't eat for 2 weeks. And then from that moment on, something changed. I remember lying in my bed and saying, this is not how I want to end my life, and this is not who I want to be. I'm done exploring this side of me.
Prior to coming out, there has been no major, junior, or professional hockey player to ever come out in hockey. I am the first gay professional hockey player. I had an interesting conversation yesterday with the president of St. John Sea Dog. I was asked how I decided to become a goalie, and and I can't really.
You don't remember that?
No.
You were 7, and you said, "Well, I want to be a goalie." You gave me 5 reasons. First one was you play the whole game, and I thought, "Okay, that's cool." And then the second one was every time you make a save, the goalie makes a save, all the parents clap. And then the third was, at the end of the game, everybody comes over and hugs the goalie.
All I thought about was being an NHL hockey player. That's what I was going to do with my life. I self-identified solely as being a hockey player. I knew that that was my dream, and I worked really hard. Sometimes maybe even too hard. I didn't have an off button, and I wanted it that bad.
There was a point before Brock got injured that he was ranked on the NHL draft list. He was 26th. Things were going great. He had just played 5 straight starts. He was a young goaltender, just come out on the draft list, and his blocker fell off, and the guy skated over his hand. And so that really set him back.
I had tons of injuries. I was just constantly unhappy to the point that I started to drink. And I drank heavily, and again, nobody knew. It got dark. Because I'd been hiding my sexuality for so long. I would cry almost every night. It was scary, and I was reckless. Now I coach and mentor athletes, and I'm like a confidant for them on top of working on their hockey skills. I received a phone call from a hockey mom, and this mom calls me and goes, "Brock, I want to set you up on a date." I went, "Oh no. What am I gonna do?" And I went, "All right, what's her name?" And she said, "Steve." I said, "Excuse me?" She said, "His name's Steve." I said, "What are you talking about?" And she said, "Brock, you're gay." What? And she said, "Oh, my son told me 2 years ago." I thought, wait, all these kids know I'm gay, and they continue to come to me, and the parents continue to come to me. I thought, this is awesome.
Let's go. Let's go quick. Focus. Hey, chin out, head up. Hock your back, get your butts down. On your edges, inside edges only. I don't want 2 shots at the same time on her. Give her time to set. Ready, Bert? Go. Head up, butt down, butt down, butt down. Go. Head up, look me in the eyes, look me in the eyes, good. Look me in the eyes, wide to your backhand, wider. Look me in the eyes, good. Fire, head up, you gotta look. Stick handle, go, 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 go. Good, fire, right from there, don't skate in anymore. You found your hole, that's your shot. Spin. Wide to your backhand. Cut down, cross over. There you go, good. Jump over that. Protect. Stick handle through. Protect. Head up, protect. Turn and fire. You got it right there, fire. Good.
I have kids when they're struggling or feel additional pressure. I've received texts at 3, 4 in the morning. I've received phone calls. I have group chats with all of them, and I like being that resource for them.
Yeah.
So you got to be the running back, and you have to explode to open areas on the ice, right? Explode.
For me?
Yeah, that was your stance.
This practice was pretty good, I thought.
Yeah? Not so stiff, more fluid. And that's going to allow you to be more agile, be more mobile, and that'll get us, you know, what's our goal? Team Canada. So does that mean you're not sure? I'm this hockey boy, but I'm also this gay man who appreciates queer culture. And one of the things I really appreciate is drag. I just appreciate the art form. I mean, they're saying, I'm not going to conform, you're not going to tell me what I have to look like or who to be. And I guess from my standpoint, I always conformed and I had to look a certain way and be this hockey bro.
You good? Do you know Jezebel? Jezebel took me to my first gay bar in Sudbury.
In Sudbury. I know. It was all lesbians and us.
What's the guy's name at the back bar? Do you know the bartenders?
Thank you.
From a distance. What's the rest of the lyrics? Fill me in. God is watching us. God is watching us. God is watching us.
Good job! Whoa! Hustle, Steve. Good hustle, Mateo. Go, Yanis! Out of the way, Ben. Go, go, go. Go, Ben. Go!
Ready, set it, hop.
Yeah!
Hey! Good job, man. Push, pull, right? Push, pull.
On a tous différents types de personnes sur le champ de football. Hein. On a des mondes timides, on a du monde qui sont plus tough. Faut que tout le monde soit capable de jouer au football. Puis il faut qu'il soit confortable à jouer au football. Puis moi, avec mon expérience de vie, j'ai vécu beaucoup d'intimidation au niveau même scolaire, même dans des sports, des choses de même. Moi, je m'ai tout le temps dit, il faut s'assurer que ça soit, une place qui se sente en sécurité. Tout le monde. Ça ne fait pas de différence ton orientation sexuelle, ça ne fait pas de différence ce qui est tes choix de vie, ça ne fait pas de différence au niveau de ton argent, si tu es riche, tu es pauvre, tout le monde devrait venir là et être capable de jouer au football, puis se sentir comme ce qui peut être humain.
Ça me rappelle les bons souvenirs des 4 années que j'ai joué avec l'équipe. Là, on voit des signatures des joueurs sur la défense qui a gagné le championnat en 2014. Après le match, tout le monde a signé sur le mur pour laisser notre marque. Ma signature est juste là. On est une école vraiment spéciale, peut-être même différente des autres écoles. Tu vois qu'il y a certaines personnes qui travaillent très fort pour rendre la culture scolaire là où elle est maintenant.
Ils sont pas aussi ouverts qu'ils se donnent crédit pour.
On était une des premières écoles à avoir une alliance gay-hétéro, le comité Indigo. C'est vraiment la place la plus ouverte où tout le monde peut aller parler de leurs sentiments non seulement en question d'identité et d'orientation sexuelle, mais leurs problèmes dans la vie. C'est une place où tu sais que tu vas jamais être jugé. Quand tu es ouvertement bisexuel, tu peux être avec n'importe qui, même un ami, et le monde va croire que tu es en relation romantique. Est-ce qu'il y en a ici qui ont déjà vu ça? Ça pourrait être un de tes meilleurs amis que ça fait 15 ans que tu connais, puis là, le monde va automatiquement croire « Ah, tu es en train de marcher avec dans la rue? Ah, c'est ton chum. » Ou tu pourrais être avec une amie fille? « Ah, c'est ta blonde. »
Puis souvent, je me faisais demander si que c'était ma sœur. Comme je me fais dire qu'est-ce qu'ils sont pour moi, au lieu d'être capable de dire que oui, ça c'est ma blonde, je l'aime.
Mais il y a des fois, il y a des commentaires qui slip, qui sont... C'est pas qu'ils sont homophobes ou de quoi de même, c'est plus comme ils comprennent pas à quel point leurs commentaires peuvent affecter quelqu'un d'autre.
Fait comme, c'est un peu plus difficile parce que eux autres, ils vivent pas des insultes de même ou comme des commentaires comme ça, puis ils comprennent pas vraiment pourquoi c'est blessant, et aussi, il y en a qui veulent pas comprendre. Donc, c'est des fois un problème de dire aux gens pourquoi c'est pas correct.
Être en couple avec quelqu'un qui peut aimer le même sexe, puis quelqu'un qui peut aimer le sexe opposé, c'est comme... ça fait pas de différence.
Ça, c'est un great game.
38, 35?
33, 30.
33, 30?
Yeah. C'est ça que j'ai come out comme 2 ans passés. J'avais dit que j'étais bi. Right now, moi, je mets pas vraiment de label là-dessus. Mettre des labels, ça amène toute l'attention là. Comme ça bother pas ce que j'aime. Si je veux aimer chacun, je vais l'aimer, no matter quoi ce que chose là-bas pense.
Fait que des mots gays, hétéro, bisexuels.
Non, aucun. Je peux pas dire que je m'oppose au concept, mais je suis fortement en désaccord avec le concept d'une étiquette pour décrire la sexualité de quelqu'un. Je suis ouvert avec moi-même, je m'accepte ça. Personnellement, j'ai pas de problème. J'aime pas utiliser un terme pour me décrire à cause que c'est vraiment une quoi qui est pas constant, qui varie.
Ah, gross!
Avec juste ça, j'étais pas le seul. On l'a pas dit à toute l'équipe. Mais il y en a d'autres qui, je pense qu'ils devaient s'en douter ou s'ils n'ont pas réagi. Mais il y a une chance, c'était vraiment assez ouvert. Hein.
Ma mère, elle carait pas. Elle dit, je t'aime encore, t'es mon enfant. J'ai pas le choix de t'aimer, je t'aime moi. Ben, c'est ça.
Il m'approche et dit, gars, c'est coach. Je me questionne sur ma sexualité. Puis j'ai dit, Justin, gars, je suis fier de t'amener m'en parler. T'as tout le temps quelqu'un, tu peux venir en parler si jamais t'as besoin de parler avec quelqu'un. Tu me dis, wow, anytime. J'ai dit, ça va pas t'arrêter de jouer au football. Là. Tu vas continuer à jouer au football, tu vas faire partie de cette équipe ici. Puis je me dis, si jamais t'as la misère, tu viens me voir. So, il était pas moins fier de ça. Je savais pas comment Craig allait réagir. Hein. Parce que tu sais jamais qu'un coach de football, là, c'est beaucoup macho, ou c'est beaucoup comme, tu sais, là, c'est tough, là. Mais je suis fier qu'il m'en a parlé.
You know, I identify as a Catholic conservative girl from Calgary, and that's most of my friends. And Kaylin just kind of broke that mold. She's the one person in this world that knows all of my dirty secrets, not that there are many. I'm really just a good Catholic girl with a guilty conscience.
she was like, yeah, Mike, well, Kaylin just has a secret boyfriend, doesn't tell anybody.
She is like the most lovely LGBT ally, feminist, kick-ass, independent woman.
Doesn't tell anybody.
Well, it's like it's scary when you introduce someone new to your parents.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
She was the first person that I came out to.
Like in 2007, I did. That was the first time that I was like, I think Anastasia might be gay.
What?
We were rooming together.
I didn't figure it out until I was 20 years old. And when I came out to my parents, my dad was like, yeah, I've known since you were a little girl. And my mom was like, I've just been waiting for you to say something. They just let me struggle for years. So you too, 2007. Sorry, I'm just gonna pour myself another drink.
Yeah, get in there. And then I also was like, can't put my finger on it. I think, that was the first time I thought, like...
I was, like, the most asexual human being until I was 22, so...
And, I mean, I'm not going to stereotype, but there were some questionable shoe choices that you made, too.
You're so...
I was like, it's just not for the male gaze, you know? It's not. So that was the first time.
That is a blatant lie.
No,
I have great shoes.
You do now, but at the time. We got to know each other better, and then I remember... still didn't know you that well, but we were jogging warm-up one day in the oval, and you were just like not yourself. I remember you saying that you were having an inner conflict and just really struggling with your faith and things that don't make sense to you, but that you were feeling, but it doesn't line up with your identity, with your faith, and like how you're, I don't know, how you saw yourself growing up, or how you're told you should be or something. And I was reading between the lines, and I was like, gay, definitely gay.
And you were like, I don't think you need to label this. You don't need to like rush into like telling your parents, or, you know, you just were like so easy, calm, collected. And I was like, and we talked that afternoon, and then I went home and I told my mom. Yeah. When I told my mom, when I told my parents, I skated almost a half a second personal best between the first and second weekend. And I mean, speed skating, I've won or lost races within 1/1000th of a second. So 5/10, it was like the weight of the world was lifted off of me. You just feel like you're on top of the world.
Yeah, we said, okay, you've said your piece. Do you have to continue saying this? Like, really? Really? Is it anybody's business if you're gay? I don't think so. Unless you are attracted to somebody and you want to form a relationship, but other than that, why do people have to know? But she wants people to know. She came out because she said, I don't want any child, I don't want any teenager to go through what I went through.
And to me, I mean, I know that's a very personal decision, but it was the right thing for me, and I would have regretted for the rest of my life if I had not stood up and said, yeah, I'm gay. In Sochi, I was really thrown off guard when there was only 5 of us that came out, and no one from the States. I was the only one from Canada. And of course, there was a number of gay athletes on that team. That was overwhelming, standing on the line in Sochi, knowing that, holy shit, I did it. You know, I did this. I had a really bumpy road leading up to 2014, and standing on the line and going, all of these, XYZ demons could have derailed this, and they almost did, but I didn't let them defeat me or defeat this dream. That really gave me a sense of pride. I know that there were certain organizations that really felt as though I kind of dropped the ball because I didn't stand up for LGBT community to the extent that they had hoped. I'm out here every single day working out until I feel like I'm going to get sick. The media is there for 2 weeks in February every 4 years, and I'm out on this ice 8 hours a day. So I couldn't let that deter me from my own dreams. I was proud of myself for lending my name and my face, and I thought that the message that I gave to any kid that needed to hear that message, I had hoped, or I was optimistic that they heard it. But a few days leading up before my race, that wasn't the time for me to be, a political activist.
To talk about this, it's bigger than winning and losing, And if there are people out there struggling with it, and I know that there are, not personally, but I know that there are young male athletes that need someone to do this.
Now it was public. It was a shock to me. I said, at that particular time, things were going well. I said, why rock the boat? You're fine, you're getting a good salary, you're getting good play time, nothing's being said, they don't care, your teammates know, everybody knows, but it just didn't come out. And when it came out, all things changed.
How so?
Well, he's not playing soccer anymore. It seems like it was a death sentence.
Was it the final nail in the coffin? I don't know. I think there's a lot of categories into why my career ended. There was a new coach. We were going into a new league. There was a lot of different scenarios happening. However, with that said, I made myself very available to still play with the impact. I don't think I was a player that was finished with his career necessarily in terms of ability. I think that there's a very business side of professional sports, obviously. And like I said, they have to pick and choose their battles. And as my mom said, maybe I wasn't the most important battle to pick at that time. I definitely wasn't going to make them a worse team.
David Testo.
I was willing to take a pay cut just to be on the team, do more of the grunt work, and just be a part of the experience, and to let Montreal kind of flourish and grow and be a part of this whole experience. A lot of players that I played with personally throughout my career, and I felt that I was at the same level of, we're still playing and we're still given opportunities. And who knows, maybe by coming out and being vocal about it could have changed my whole career. It could have actually made me better and more comfortable. Who knows, I could have, been a star the next year. You just don't know. I never got to play with that. So I'll never know.
I was watching a hockey game one night, and between periods they had this kid on the air, and he was doing an interview. It was Brendan Burke.
Why did you decide to take this public?
I think it's important because I've been supported so strongly by my family and by Miami's hockey team. And I think it's important that my story is told to people because there are a lot of gay athletes out there and gay people working in pro sports that deserve to know that there are safe environments where people are supportive of you regardless of your sexual orientation.
We spoke pretty often, and it was a relief to have somebody who understood my struggle, who was in the same world.
What did you say to him that night?
Well, I said it won't change anything, Brendan. You know, it doesn't change our view of we love you, we're proud of you, and it doesn't change anything in my mind, and it never will.
When Brendan came out, a lot of people out there were surprised that Brian Burke could have a gay son. Someone who was seen as hyper-masculine, someone who was seen as an almost a caricature of stereotypical masculine traits. He hunts, he fishes, he fought, he chews tobacco, he drives a pickup truck, he favors violent hockey, you know, all the things that we think of as stereotypically masculine. My father embodies to some extent.
I never thought I'd be a gay rights activist. I am an activist for a lot of other causes. This one I came into because of my son. But as far as parents with gay kids or gay kids writing me letters, I still get these, they're wonderful letters, and I get these awful letters from kids who say, I can't come out. My dad had beat me up. He threw me out of the house. I wish you were my dad. Could you talk to my dad? And these heart-wrenching, I mean, they're awful. And then other ones, you know, I've gotten some hate mail that this is all work on behalf of the devil and all that. And I used to get mad at those, and now I just feel sorry for those people that you could be that ignorant. To me is mind-boggling.
Brendan Burke didn't feel comfortable in a locker room. I was on that team 5 years before Brendan, and I never changed that culture. I made gay jokes, I made homophobic comments, I said things I shouldn't have. And then 5 years later, the culture that I had been a part of creating made my brother leave the team. And I think, I don't want to call all this work penance, but I do feel like I didn't do my job as an older brother when he needed it.
Tonight, reaction to the sudden death of Brendan Burke has been pouring in.
We ask that everyone please rise and recognize a moment of silence.
To lose Brendan was really, really heartbreaking. So, you know, when I look at what You Can Play has done, we're kind of a pale imitation of what an organization would have been had Brendan run it.
If you can score, you can score. If you can pass, you can pass. If you can play, you can play. You can play.
We're now joined by hockey players from around the world supporting my son Brendan's simple message.
If you can play, you can play. If you can play, you can play.
If you can play,
You can play.
Some people would whisper in a sense like, you know, he's gay, right? And then I had associations just tell me, you can't work with our players. Associations I was coaching in where they'd allow me to coach for free, but my business wasn't allowed to work with the players. And I had others, when coaches found out I was gay, they kicked me off their staffs. And then all of a sudden, my business wasn't allowed to work with them. And then this was kind of, I was being pushed out this as well for no apparent reason and other than my sexuality. I decided at that point that it was time to come out and create change in society.
Very brave to do what you're doing.
Oh, thanks.
It's
It's
not something I don't think everyone would be able to do.
I think men's teams sports have this manufactured idea of what masculinity is. And I think that leads to a lot of problems. I think that leads to homophobia. I think that leads to sexism. I think that leads to men not taking care of themselves, mental health specifically. But I think we've built up this idea of athletes as warriors. And that if you play football or you play basketball or you play hockey, you're a warrior, you're a gladiator. And you're not supposed to feel pain. And you're not supposed to feel emotions. We really don't train young athletes to put themselves in other people's shoes, to say, hey, this is what it's like for your teammate when you're being homophobic. This is what it's like for your girlfriend when you're being sexist.
Voilà, bas.
Il s'est passé quelque chose dernièrement.
L'année passée, oui. Il y a un player. Ben, ça arrivait souvent que des players iraient dessiner comme sur les chars au coach, whatever. Là. Ben là, une journée, un des players a décidé qu'il se trouvait drôle, puis il a été dessiné sur mon char. Il a été dessiné, il y avait des gros pénis partout sur mon char, puis ça disait que j'aimais ça. Puis... Ouais, Serge n'était pas trop impressed, puis il a shutté ça down. Là. Il a amené toute la team sur le champ, puis il les a tous parlé. Puis il a dit si ever ça arrive back, puis qu'on find out qui ce que c'est, cette personne-là est off la team.
À un certain point, tu as peur. Tu peux avoir. Tu as peur que, je serais facilement pu être moi à sa situation, puis tu as peur de voir qu'est-ce qui pourrait se passer si tu deviens un intimidateur.
C'est nice d'avoir Chika sur mon côté, I guess. Je le décrirais pas vraiment comme coach, c'est comme un père. Il est toujours là quand il a besoin. Comme moi, je m'ai déjà vu le texter 12 heures du soir jusqu'à ce que j'avais besoin de parler à Chika, je parlais à Serge.
Il a dit la même chose.
C'est ça que j'ai tout le temps cherché dans ma vie, moi. C'est avoir quelqu'un que je pouvais me dépendre dessus comme un father figure. Là. Ça, je m'ai tout le temps dit, si je peux être un entraîneur puis être une influence positive dans la vie du monde, là, mes joueurs, c'est ça qui est important.
OK. So, Simon, ready? Everyone prenez votre step en même temps. Ready!
Il n'y aura pas d'espace entre vous autres.
Tu passes, oui, demain.
En arrière. OK, une autre fois. Go! Go! That's it, pass, go. Go. That's it, that's it, that's it. OK, good job. Up. OK, so on va faire la snap. Football position, on position de football. Head up. Ready! Ooh, freeze. Good. OK, up.
Quand tu as une situation qui est difficile, il faut que tu fasses quoi à propos de ça? Tu peux pas juste rester là et attendre que le ciel arrive et tu donne une solution magique. Tu as besoin de prendre action. Puis sur le terrain, tu vois vraiment ça.
C'est spécial. Vas-tu venir le 11 septembre au 10e anniversaire? Oui.
Moi, je me mets rarement en colère. Mais il y a un temps, quand je voyais de l'intimidation, il fallait que je fasse attention parce que je devenais un peu émotif. Puis je réalisais que j'étais après revivre des choses que j'avais vécues dans mon enfance. Je me disais, ça se peut pas que 25 ans plus tard, c'est encore comme ça. Puis j'ai dit, voulez-vous que ça arrête, ça, à l'école, le lycée? Ils ont dit oui. Bien, c'est vous autres qui allez m'aider. Pourquoi j'ai pas aimé mon secondaire? C'était la partie d'intimidation. Puis les élèves se moquaient de moi. Puis j'avais pas confiance en moi, puis j'étais un peu gêné. J'ai pas fait aucun sport de 9 à 12. J'ai même pensé quitter l'école en 9e année. Mon père a dit, si tu veux quitter l'école, tu vas devenir un pêcheur. Puis moi, j'aimais pas beaucoup la pêche. Ça fait que j'ai continué à l'école. Mais je me sentais pas bien dans l'école. Puis le sondage qu'on demande aux élèves de remplir, on fait ça 3 fois dans l'année. Mais à cause du sondage, on a réussi à vraiment diminuer l'intimidation qu'il y a à l'école. Fait que c'est un sondage où on demande à l'élève d'identifier clairement s'il y a des élèves qui intimident, s'il y a des élèves qui sont victimes d'intimidation. Puis c'est pas dans le but de punir, mais c'est dans le but d'aider. J'ai cet élève ici, à un moment donné, son nom sortait souvent sur les sondages, puis il savait vraiment pas pourquoi, il ne comprenait pas pourquoi. J'ai dit, OK, tu me donnes-tu la permission de parler à tes amis? Il a dit oui. Ses amis m'ont dit qu'il disait souvent, « Ah, c'est tapette, ceci, puis c'est tapette, cela. » C'est pas qu'il était homophobe. C'était de quoi qu'il disait souvent comme ça. J'ai dit, regarde, ça se peut-tu que tu utilises souvent le mot tapette? Puis il a dit, c'est-tu pour ça? D'ici le prochain sondage, tu vas faire attention à ça. Puis tes amis vont t'aider. Puis honnêtement, son nom n'était pas là la fois d'après. Je me souviens, à un moment donné, en 10 ans passés, on plaçait mettons, 2 personnes de hockey masculins qui se donnaient un baiser. Puis les élèves marquaient toutes sortes d'affaires sur des pancartes. Cette heure, tu vas voir, tu circules dans l'école, tu vois ces pancartes-là. Personne n'écrit sur les affiches parce qu'il y a eu cette éducation-là qui est faite. Les jeunes, à un moment donné, nous ont demandé de faire moins de sondages. Puis on a dit, monsieur, il n'y en a plus d'intimidation. Là. Tu peux arrêter avec les sondages. Là. Non, on va en faire 2 au lieu d'en faire 3. Tu sais, ça fait... Parce que c'est quelque chose, il faut que tu travailles constamment.
Is the first team in the Quebec Major Junior League to partner with the You Can Play project. You Can Play works to ensure the safety and inclusion of all in sports, including LGBTQ athletes, coaches, and fans.
St. John Sea Dogs were super proud to be the first CUME JHL team to partner with You Can Play project, and really happy to have our first You Can Play night in our league. That's pretty great, right?
How's it going? Good. Who here has used homophobic language? That's gay, you're a fag, words like that. There's no judgment here. Okay, let's try that again. There's no judgment at all. Who here has used homophobic language? Yeah, there we go. That's what I expected. But I'm going to share my story with you. When I was your age, I was like most of you. I was playing Major Junior. I thought I was sweet, right? And I was that hyper-masculine, cocky hockey guy. And people thought I had a pretty good life too. I was on the NHL draft list. I was on trajectory to the NHL, and things were going well. But what people didn't know was that I'd go home at night and cry. I hated myself. And pretty much every day I wanted to die. And on a few occasions when I was in the O, I tried to kill myself. And it was all due to the language I heard. That's gay, you're a fag. Terms like that were used constantly in locker room settings or at school. The boys would tease one another, right? Chirp one another. Or guys would call each other, they'd emasculate one another by calling each other bitches or pussies. Stuff like that. And hearing that language constantly made me think I was bad or wrong, and I tried to suppress it. I told myself, no, I can't be that. I'm not that. I wouldn't even allow myself, it got to a point that I wouldn't even allow myself to think about it. And I compensated by dating even more women. I became a womanizer. And I also compensated by drinking heavily. So I decided I needed to figure myself out. The easiest way for you to make change is through language. You'd be hurting your best friend. You'd be hurting your teammate. And if your teammate's struggling, he's not playing to his ability. And if he's not playing to his ability, your team's not going to play as well. Yeah.
When you came out, was there anybody that kind of stepped away from you, like friends or family members that would just kind of stepped away from you and didn't really accept it?
People in the hockey world, friends that I was coaching with, for no reason, no explanation, kicked me off staffs. Family was phenomenal, and I'm lucky that I have some people like that in my life. Yeah.
What helped you cope with like the depression side of it?
The only thing that really helped me cope back then was being on the ice. It's the only place that I felt like myself. You just let when you get on the ice and you just let everything else go. Nothing else matters but the game. And it was the only place where it was this weird thing, because as much as I was struggling probably because of hockey, and the reason I wasn't coming out was because of hockey, at the same time it was the only place where I felt happy. Is that it? What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my social media handles up. If anyone has any questions, feel free to add me, but I want everyone who has their phone to take it out just so nobody feels alienated if they do add me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Jeez, rough go.
Thank you very much.
Whoa. No. Thank you.
Odile and Nancy dropped this off.
I was happy with it, actually.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's a
I don't
good
know.
article.
It was a good article, I thought.
Yeah.
Busa's back from burnout. That's a pretty good headline. The years of kind of struggling with accepting myself or coming out of the closet or just being who I, need to be. It just wore me down a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I needed that year to just kind of chill, because I don't think I would have progressed if I didn't take that time, I left being hungry. Like I'm very inspired to work hard and to focus on what I have control over and make those changes.
Is that feeling better?
Yeah, I think it's just my quad that's like overly tight. Yeah. I'm just getting old.
Man, you're over the hill.
I am. It's not easy on your body.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah. But that actually does feel very good. Thank you. Yeah, I've got a lot of support. I don't know. It's just nice to feel that love.
Yeah. Well, you are loved, my dear.
Thanks.
You're my girl.
I'm going to skate till 2018, and I am going to try my best. Try my best for my third Olympics. So I'm on a little bit of a comeback.
Bridge. Down.
There's no guarantees in sport, so I'm very vulnerable.
So you definitely got some issues going on with the knee itself. Osteopathically speaking, it's not moving the way it's supposed to be moving.
Mm-hmm. In a sport like speed skating, the clock doesn't lie, and you can kind of blur boundaries in training a little bit, but once that gun goes and you realize that the technique is really struggling, the speed isn't quite there, you're not as sharp, then your mind starts playing tricks on you. Yeah, it's tough. I needed to essentially come top 4 in Canada, and I failed to do that. Being in this gray area of injuries and not skating up to my potential and kind of racking my brain as to what I need to focus on or what I need to do so radically different to get back on track. It's very frustrating. I'm a competitor.
You scored once and you slid so far, like head first, and I was like, he's a god. That was amazing. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I still remember that picture of us leaning against the fence. I personally think that the majority of people had a suspicion from when I was very young that I might have been gay. So I'm just wondering, like, I mean, was there chatter behind my back? Was there chatter, like, always going around, or rumors, or was there always a inclination?
For me, probably not. I would think that the people that loved you the most wouldn't care. You know, I do think that the area that we grew up in is way different now.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally understand that you felt like stepping away was the right thing to do for you to better understand yourself.
You know, and you should never be afraid of, you know, opening up to those ones that you love the most instead of doing what I did, and that was run away from the ones that I love the most.
Yeah. You weren't an athlete to me. You were like a brother.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry. Damn, I'm gonna cry.
Feels a little bit like a time lapse. A lot has changed, but a lot is the same. It's bringing back old feelings of friends and foes. I actually remember being here and just praying that my locker wasn't kind of in this area, because I was afraid that this is where you run into most of the people, that something like bullying could happen. And I was always petrified of running into the older students, especially with friends that I had who had older brothers, that they were going to pick on me or bully me or find out, you know, if I was gay. And there's nothing that you can really do when you're in that. And that's what I felt. And I felt like, oh, I'm all alone. I always have memories of kind of this area, this place. These stairs was the first place I remember where I actually bullied someone else. By acting as a bully and this macho guy and deliberately and attacking another, you know, a gay student, maybe that would take the pressure off of myself. Maybe people won't start to question my own sexuality because, you know, I'm a bully. No one's gonna pick on me, so I'm gonna revert the attention to someone else and be seen as someone macho and physical and strong and straight. Well, it still smells the same. It was like a whole play, if I think about it. Like, I was playing the role of this straight guy, of this, you know, standout soccer player, achieving all these awards and accolades. But the real me hadn't even started to be explored. Who was that boy? Who was that young man? I think everything is just bubbling back up of things that I suppressed kind of like place that I didn't want to go back to because it's just so sad. I just feel so much pain. I think in the end, I didn't want to be that person. I didn't want to be a bully. I didn't want to be gay. I just wanted to be David, like my mom said. And it might have been soccer that got me to this place that I got to experience all these different parts of the world and cultures and people, but this is the place that I ran from. This is the place that I never wanted to come back to. This is the place that I knew would bring out this deep pain that I wanted to bury for the rest of my life. And I just wish that I didn't have that taken away from me. And that's what I feel like. I feel like a lot of my high school and college and life was taken away from me because I was ostracized or made to feel like I wasn't normal and not equal. And even though I was equal on the outside, on the inside I wasn't. But I'm good now.
Je pense que vous avez pas mal appris la leçon l'année passée au niveau de comment que nous autres, comme famille, comme équipe de football, vous savez tous comment c'est important qu'on est inclusif avec tout le monde, que ce soit notre couleur de peau, que ce soit nos croyances religieuses, que ce soit notre orientation sexuelle. Moi, j'ai perdu mon frère non seulement à cause qu'il était gay, mais lui, ça sortait à l'école, puis ça m'a fait intimider à un point qu'il lâche l'école. Puis à peu près 10 ans après ça, ils sont enlevé la vie à cause des choses de même. So, je suis vraiment fier que cette année, vous avez fait un effort aussi d'être beaucoup plus inclusif. Parce que vous savez que ça a des conséquences, right? Si on va au match demain avec ces valeurs-là de famille et d'inclusivité, non seulement on va gagner le match, mais on va gagner dans la vie.
Olympia sur droit.
1, 2, 3, Olympia.
Famille sur droit.
1, 2, 3, famille.
Coaches sur droit.
1, 2, 3, coaches.
Oh. Sport has given me so much, and it has given me the privilege and opportunity to chase my dreams and also to fail at them too. Because there are things that I haven't been able to accomplish. The knee really put a lens over my eyes because I was just in chronic pain. I wasn't getting the results. But I'm proud that I stood on the right side of history. I hope that I can, walk away from this sport and say, I gave my heart to my country in my sport, and I gave my heart and I gave my face and my values to represent Canada on the world stage by saying, yes, we're gay and we accept gay athletes. And this is ridiculous to even be having this conversation and to further that. But it was not easy. I think it's right for me to say goodbye now. And I think it's the respectful thing to do to speed skating. When I say, oh, it's been the biggest relationship of my life, I owe her that, if that makes sense. I don't know, maybe that's very poetic and a personal thing for myself, but I owe her the respect to say thank you for giving me 24 years. And it's okay. It's okay to say goodbye.
Showcase yourselves. That's what this is for, all right? You all worked really hard. I thought the effort was great. Good work.
I'm not I stared right in the camera.
Firez-vous up!
À la fin de cette partie, les Olympiens de l'UC 49, les Matadors du match matin 7.